everybody. I'm going to talk about a project I'm getting ready to work on. I'm going to show you guys something cool I got and what I'm going to do with it. I wanted to make myself a really neat statement necklace. Something really unique, really different, kind of unusual, not something that you would really ever see or rarely see, not something you could get in the mall, not something you could get on like a major, like a major department store or anything like that. And I wanted it to be something I made myself, so it would be truly one of a kind. And I got to looking on Etsy for cabochons, which are the flat stones that you can use easily in jewelry making. And I wanted it to be really big, so I was using search terms like huge, unusual cabochon, huge cabochon, And I got to thinking, well, what about maybe a fossil? Because that would be even cooler. So I started looking up huge, huge fossil cabochon, and eventually this came up. And it is, I had to order it from Russia, so it took a while to get here. But it is a pyritized ammonite fossil cabochon. And this just caught my eye. It was just a total impulse thing. I saw it, I clicked on it, I said, oh, that's it. That's the one. That's what I want. So that's what I ordered. And I probably spent a little bit more on it than I should, but it was one of those situations where I was like, yep, that's what I want. That's exactly it. So I got it. And an ammonite was a little sea creature, kind of like a nautilus. And like a nautilus, its shell got bigger as it grew. And as it grew, it created another little chamber, sealed off its old chamber, moved into its new chamber. So every little chamber is where it had lived at one point. And it only ever lived in the biggest chamber. So it's kind of like tree rings, it's really neat. You can see all the stages that it lived. And then, they die, they sink to the ocean floor, and they're covered by sediment, and they start to fossilize. This is like millions of years old. I really didn't do much research on this, at least 60 million years old. So the conditions are right sometimes for them to become specialized fossils. So they're not just a regular fossil. This one is a pyritized ammonite, which means the water conditions and, were good for it to make pyrite. It turned into pyrite, which is fool's gold. So that's why it's got that really cool metallic shine to it. And it's got the little, in the chambers, you can see the little sparkly druzy crystals. There are also ammonites in other parts of the world that turned into something called ammolite, which is a beautiful, colorful, iridescent fossil. And it's just gorgeous iridescent colors, bright colors, vivid colors, and a lot of them are red, but they can have rainbow sheens to them. And I've got a little ring that's just a piece of ammolite in it. And I thought this was, not only was it a really neat fossil, but it was a pyritized fossil, which makes it even more rare and special. It's big. I didn't see a whole lot of big ones. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how big it is, but I mean, as you can tell, it's a couple inches across. It's like 2.5 inches across. It's pretty heavy. It's pretty substantial. You can see it's kind of thick and it is heavy. So what I'm going to end up doing, and the back is just polished. So what I'm going to end up doing is to mount it, I'm going to put copper foil tape around the sides and copper foil tape probably on the back because it's so heavy I'll need it probably to help support it. And I'm going to solder over it like it were a piece of stained glass or those microscope slide pendants that were so popular for a while. So I'm going to solder around it and attach some type of loop or finding and wear it on a heavy leather cord and probably, hang it this side up so the light is coming down and hitting the crystals here. and I'll wear it a shorter cord, not a choker, but probably right down to where it'll, you know, be right in the middle of a medium neckline, and it won't be dangling low, so I won't have to worry about it swinging around and being heavy, and it'll be worn right up against my body. So after I solder it, the soldering is all going to be bright silver, and the color of the metallic, the pyrite, is more of a golden. It's a warmer brownish golden, kind of a cross between silver and brown, or silver and gold. And I don't know exactly how that's going to look with bright silver solder. So after I solder it, before I attach the finding that it's going to be hanging from the cord from, I'm going to decide, does it look okay with bright silver, or do I need to alter that? And you can use something called patina on solder. And you can get copper patina, which turns your solder copper, or you can get a black patina, which turns it kind of a dull, you know, it kind of dulls down the silver and makes it blackish. And I think that might work best with this, but I'm going to go ahead and just solder it, leave it silver, take a couple little scraps and solder, you know, just solder some scraps and patina them and see how, and hold it up next to it and see how it looks with the patina, and decide if I'm going to patina it or not. I don't have any patina right now, so that's something I'm going to have to go buy. I've got all my copper foil and I've got my solder and flux and everything, but so I can go ahead and get the thing soldered. Maybe if I'm able to get out early enough tomorrow, I can go by a stained glass shop in the next town over and see and pick up a bottle of black patina. Maybe if they have a little set where you can get both patinas, and see what I like. I'm not going to film me working on the project live and show you guys, you know, start to finish, because it takes I'm not quite as coordinated as I used to be, and it takes a while for me to do these kinds of things. And I don't think you guys want to sit and watch me spending a half hour fumbling around with copper foil and then spending another hour fumbling around with solder. So what I'll probably do is just show little step-by-steps of how it's coming along, and then show you guys the finished product. But yeah, this is kind of a little birthday present to myself. I just wanted something really cool and unusual, and I think this fits the bill. And one thing I really like about it, if you know what it is, you know what it is. But if you don't know what it is, it's just a really interesting kind of free form, but does have a little bit of a pattern to it. Kind of a neat, abstract, but organic design. So if you know what an ammonite is, and you know how these pyritized ammonites look after they are, you know, dug up and cut and polished, you're going to know exactly what it is. But most people who see it, I think, will just think, well, that's just a really neat rock, or that's just a really neat stone with a kind of a cool organic pattern to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it someday. It's got some really neat colors and details in it, and just beautiful picking up those little metallic sparkles. And I love to wear earth colors, and I love to wear dark colors, browns, blacks, greens, rust, you know, a lot of earth colors. I think this would look great with it. And like I said, looking forward to working with this thing, and I'll show you guys how it turns out. So yep, that's my little project of the day, and I'll be back to show you guys what it looks like taped up.